I'd say it's been the most pernicious, divisive policy pursued by Western governments since World War II. It's a deeply misunderstood idea, but multiculturalism is not the same as multiracialism or pluralism. Nevertheless, for years, anyone who has criticized multiculturalism has been described as a racist. State-sponsored multiculturalism judged that the state should not impose values or expectations on immigrants. Rather, it should bend over backwards to accommodate the demands of immigrants. The multicultural era would have continued a lot longer if it hadn't been for radical Islam. But the fact is that Western societies have now nurtured more than one generation of immigrants who not only appear to feel no loyalty to the country they're in, but actively in some cases seem to despise it. The question now is what can be done about that?
I don't know. Really, I don't know. She has been hiding her age for forever.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never known at any point how old?
Because then you know what happened? My father was a secret police in Spain, and he used to hold in the house these kind of identification cards that are obligated for a Spanish citizen to have, you know, and she used to steal them and put the age there that she wanted and plastify that and just go around with that until my father found out and almost took her to jail.
Wow.
It's true. So probably my mother was 16 when I was 24.
Wow.
It was very weird.
You have no idea?
I have no idea.
Well, I guess that's okay.
It's okay.
It's just a number, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I just saw you a few weeks ago at Idol, and did you enjoy that?
Very much,
yeah?
Very much.
And who are you rooting for? Who do you like on Idol?
Crystal.
Yeah, Crystal?
I think she's awesome.
Yeah.
And there is something in their eyes that you recognize that you had 30 years ago. It's just beautiful to see them just competing there. It's beautiful.
You're turning 50, you said?
Yes.
And
yes,
how do you feel about that? Yes, yes, let's... Do you... Because when you were younger, didn't 50 sound old?
Oh, my God, yes. When I was 20, 50 was like, oh, my God, someday I'm going to be 50. That's going to be so old. But now I am looking at 80, and we say, oh, you know, when I'm 80, that's going to be so old. But, you know, Mama, when I am 80, I'm going to look at 120, and I'm going to say, oh, that's going to be so old. So,
right. You keep going like that, exactly.
Absolutely.
And,
I think there's a great mix of the period and fantasy. So, to a certain extent, there's based in the period and in the reality of the time. And then on top of that, you had the world of Marvel, and you had the world of Captain America and the world of Red Skull. So what it means is that when these characters in the period see these cars and motorbikes and guns and all the amazing imagination of the world of Marvel, their amazement is shared by the audience and by us because they're seeing it in the context of a period film.
He's managed to infiltrate the State Department as an American called Fred Clemson, and he's in the observation lab as the experiment's taking place.
Questo messaggio che hai lanciato tramite il tuo ruolo, l'hai lanciato un po' per far capire anche ai registi di volerti scollare da certi ruoli?
Ma guarda, i ruoli sono tuoi figli, nel senso che le cose che hai fatto sono un prodotto anche della persona che hai in quel momento e delle scelte che hai fatto, quindi io me ne sono liberata nel momento stesso in cui l'ho finita quella cosa. Poi se rimane nell'immaginario del pubblico è perché evidentemente c'è stato qualcosa che li ha colpiti. Per quanto riguarda i registi è anche bello che, insomma, che il percorso sia fatto a tappe. Io lavoro da quando sono bambina, per me è diciamo una crescita, un gradino dopo l'altro, quindi mi va bene così.
Christina Applegate, Miss Haggerty. I think that's how it's. Oh God. And I don't know who the third is. I don't know. To look on the pamphlet, but I do know. I think who won. She's not here yet. Shh. On Bones. 8 o'clock Thursday nights. Great new night. Fantastic. Great new chemistry. Romance, adventure, romancing the stone adventures. Boots Past, Circus. I directed an episode that's airing February 26th. I'll just keep pimping myself. Yeah, sure, that's about it. A lot of good stuff.
The Fight with King Hyperion is a brutal, messy, two exhausted men who want to tear each other's throats out, non-stylized, painful experience. It is in a small space, and they're just throwing each other against the walls, hitting each other with anything that may try and kill them. This is the human representation of the conflict between the gods and the titans. These are the chosen champions on either side, and this is not sort of wushu, martial arts, kung fu, anything like that. There's some jiu-jitsu, there's some grappling in there, the Greco-Roman grappling, but these guys, it just kick the crap out of each other.
James Franco is very method and would kind of scour the globe for every copy of the book that he could find, whereas I kind of skimmed through my script with a pint of Guinness of an evening. I'm not method at all in that way. No, I try to just work with what's in front of me, the script, because otherwise you just I think it will get a bit too complicated. I mean, the elements, were quite tough, physically, just kind of being outdoors, and the poor hair designer would spend kind of an hour and a half doing that immaculate hair on me, and then I'd come back and completely windswept, and it had all gone to.
Lost experience has changed my life in so many ways. You don't have that much time, but. Well, I guess the most significant way as an artist is validation, at least to move forward and to have some sort of confidence in the craft I've chosen to explore. And I really did not ever believe I could be a good actor, and I still don't know to what level that will grow and progress, but I do feel some sort of validation and bonification, if you will, because I'm still alive. So having a job is definitely a big change. For a consistent working environment for an actor is hard to find.
I don't know. I spent a lot of time talking to Steve McQueen about it. He actually proposed at one point that we all come to rehearsal and all get naked, including him. And then, strangely, that plan went out the window. I've never done it in anything else, and I'd sort of, I'd actively kind of avoided it. And then with this, it just felt like the perfect introduction to her as a character, and so appropriate and so her. And I sort of have always been sort of quite of the mindset that a human body, is a body, and in film we always have to glamorize them and make them perfect, and in fact it's just what people look like when they're naked, and they don't go to the gym 8 times a week. And it just felt like who she was, and so yeah, I just felt comfortable. I trusted Steve. I knew it was the right thing, and so by the time we were actually filming it, it wasn't nerve-wracking at all. It was just a small room, a couple of camera people, and Michael, and it was really fun actually. It was a kind of, it's a strange thing when you're naked in a room when everyone else is wearing clothes, where you feel like kind of really powerful. It's weird, because you think, haha, you're wearing clothes, I'm not. I don't know, it is weird. You do feel great after the first date, then you just start doing the scene, but it's liberating.
2:30 in the morning, you're in a public place, there's alcohol flowing around, in a bar, you're hanging with your friends, and some guy goes, "Potter!" You don't know, you don't get angry then?
No, you don't get angry. The only time it becomes relatively irritating is when people are drunk and obnoxious and think they're really funny. But it's not the fact that they think they're funny, because that's fine. They are funny to their friends, that's fine. But like, they can't expect me to still laugh. That's the thing. Like, they look at me like I am something rude for not laughing at their joke, and it's like, dude, I've been hearing those jokes for 10 years. I can't fake laughing for you. Right. I don't know. I wouldn't do that with my friends. I'm certainly not going to do it for you, drunk stranger.
You've made a lot of motion pictures in Holland, of course. You're a very big star there. In fact, that's where I first saw you, not in Holland, but in Soldier of Orange. And in that and Max Havelaar, I found myself thinking, how long will it be until we see him on our own screens here? Now, Blade Runner, of course, was made in this country. In this and Nighthawks both, characters that are sort of villainous, but yet maybe not completely so. How do you feel about that? Do you like villains? Do you want to temper them with more honest characteristics at the same time?
I don't see the villain so much. I think Harrison is the villain.
Oh, this is, okay.
Definitely.
No, let's talk about that now. Harrison is the villain. Why is that? He's trying to keep you from doing something, isn't he?
Well, you tell me what you think is a villain, because what is a villain?
The person out there in that audience that gets a reaction that I don't like this person, and I want to see this person stopped. I think I would define that as a villain. I don't want him to prevail.
Yeah, okay.
Except that's what Harrison is trying to do to you, though, isn't it?
Yes, but I don't. I think my idea of a villain is somebody who wants to do some, nasty, bad things. And Harrison's character is finds his motivation that he has to kill 5 replicants, which we are.
Yeah, the term retirement.
Because they are sort of dangerous, and they say they sort of found a spaceship and people got killed, but you never see that happen in the film. It's just one of the stories they give you that they are a bit dangerous. But I mean,
Whereas the thing you're trying to do in Blade Runner is quite a bit different, isn't it? You want to stay alive.
Yes, I want to. We've given by our engineering master, we've been given 4 years, and I'm enjoying life, and I want more than 4, maybe 5, And that's the goal, and then he refuses to do that. And then there's a fuse that blows.
And what's appealing about him?
I don't feel comfortable with this conversation, but I don't want to live my life on my own. I love being a mother. My children fill me up in many ways and inspire me in many ways, but I need a partner in life. I've never really lived a conventional life, so I think it's quite foolish for me or anyone else to start thinking that I'm going to start making conventional choices.
I believe you, millions won't. Are you the easy one?
No, I don't know. I mean, I go home and I wash my face and I put on my sweatpants and I lay down on the bed and I say, "Oh, please rub my feet," and and he says, "No, you rub my feet."
there's a couple of things. One of the things that we were talking about before is my relationship with Jack, how Claire and Jack then just being like thrown into reading scripts with all this stuff that I wasn't really knowledgeable about, but kind of great at the same time because I get to learn about it in a whole other way instead of going through it and just ask Dan anything I don't know. So.
That's right.
Danielle, is there anything for you that you unanswered question?
You know, there are small things, but I think the broader question that I would really like to see answered is why us? And I don't think we're going to find that out until the very end.
Ray is a corporate spy, and his character and Judah's characters have met a long time ago, and then they come back together and they meet, and there's obviously a huge attraction. They're both incredibly skilled at what they do, and there's a sort of meeting of minds really, and they just have to bury themselves pretty deeply into the work and into the companies they're in, and to pull off this big scam. So really.
Transfixing. So yeah, it is. Everyone said, but you're not doing it with horses. You're not doing it with puppets. You're doing it with real horses. And it suddenly became a fear that it wouldn't be as potent a story. But then, the minute you have the privilege of working with these beautiful animals you see wandering around now, it completely works. It works in the filmic reality, and we've got the most exceptional horses and Spanish horse training.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen some of these? I want to share some of these. Do you have any favorites here?
They're hilarious.
Do you say these things? Do you want to say any of these things?
I write them, actually. It's my site. I didn't feel like I was getting enough.
What's most authentic to you?
Hey, girls, sorry my shirt fell off.
Let's hear another. Come on, one more. Are you embarrassed? Ryan, let's see your face. Come on.
So okay. That's...
You disagree with some of them? What? What's the problem?
No, some of them are like funnier than others. Hey, girl, I'm just sitting. Okay, here's one of me, like looking at some ducks.
Right.
And I'm like in some kind of like a Star Trek jacket. I don't know why I have that. and it says, "Hey, girl, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay." Wishing I could waste the rest of the day with you instead of these ducks. This is pretty good. I'm laying on a couch. I'm laying on a couch and it says, "Hey girls, sometimes I get so sad when we can't watch Golden Girls together."
That's beautiful. Now do you get it? Why
That's
they all
true.
love you?
I do. Hey girl, I'm happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for your yams and sweet potato pie. I mean, that's it. I mean, they've nailed it.
What do you have to do
girl,
now?
I can't wait to meet your parents and all of your friends.
What do you have to do next professionally now? What's going on acting wise?
I'm gonna make a movie about Hey Girl.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
NC-17 again, probably.
Yeah. You know how I do.
First off, I love talking to you every time because you play these badass, kick-ass women.
Thank you.
I do, though. I miss the period pieces every so often.
I do too, yeah. It's nice to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I've obviously frightened everybody.
I know. Now, like, if they put you into one of those outfits, you're just going to rip it off.
I'm worried I'll break the teacup. Probably.
Exactly. I don't think anyone does twist it as well as you do. I do think you play and this is your first really major bad guy, really.
Yeah, in a movie like this, for sure, yeah.
Were you a little nervous about taking on the bad guy role, especially playing the good guy so often?
I wasn't really, no. I mean, I felt like, you know, especially, because Len obviously knows me and knows what I'm capable of, and so I knew the director was very confident in you know, in that, and that I was, you know, who he'd had in mind. So, so I felt pretty good about it.
Was the role always, because Sharon Stone's character in the original is she's not there that much.
Right.
You're a major part. Right. Was that always like that?
Yeah, it was always like that. And you know, I think we just wanted to make a real difference. You know,
Sharon Stone's character is like a fantasy wife. You know, she's unribboning her camisole and offering sex constantly. And, you know, we wanted to establish a couple who'd been married and the guy was feeling a little bit kind of bored. And who would be bored by Sharon Stone in a bed? It just seems kind of like, I think there'd be lines around the block for that. You know, so I think we wanted to kind of make that, you know, a little bit more kind of mundane, maybe.
I have no idea. If I'm being totally honest, I have no idea.
Even like the tune.
Until you start hearing his tunes, and then you go, he was in that, you know. But Nick knew him backwards after living with the characters for so long.
Did you do any research yourself, or did you just trust the script to tell
No, you have to. You've got, if you're playing a real person, you've got to do as much research as you can. You've got to honour him and his family, basically. And luckily for me, obviously Nick had already done the play, so they had reams and reams of research and video footage that I could dive into.
Hines is a fascinating but somewhat difficult character.
Yeah.
He can appear mercenary, not thoroughly likable all the time. But do you think it's more that he was naive?
I think he was an innocent. I think he started as an innocent, and he was a product of everything that was put upon him. I think you see it time and time again with the modern obsession with celebrity. People who get thrust into the public eye for not much reason. You know, Hines was a musician, but he was a musician created by Joe Meek. So, without Joe, he's very susceptible to getting completely delusional with fame.
When you're researching this film, did you find yourself kind of just subconsciously getting on a bit of extra hand washing?
I still do. It's just become a part of my life. Not in a paranoid, neurotic way, but before this, I really believed the more germs I was exposed to, public, personal hygiene aside, of course, but the more germs I was exposed to, the better, to strengthen your immune system. And as a mom, that was kind of my philosophy. But now, I'm not scared of a pandemic when I shake someone's hand, but I definitely, when I come home from the subway or playground or supermarket, I wash my hands.
Is that because one of the doctor advisors on set went, you know, Jennifer, you're on?
Yeah, I'm just aware of wanting to, you know, at some point take care of the germs every few hours, every hour, you know, kind of make sure. I don't want to bring them into my house from outside.
Fair enough.
You know.
I knew people like that when I was a single man, but that's another story. This film is outside the regular dance of the Hollywood 3-act, you know, watching character arcs just go from start to finish. Here we go, character, oh, now you're dead. You know, how do you think audiences react to this? It's almost uncomfortable to watch because it's so out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see how they react.
Because I was put off by it, not only by all the close-ups of face touching, but also when he's crossing the axis, and it made me feel really weird watching this film.
It's unsettling.
It is. Well, you know, so is the idea of a pandemic.
Yeah, but there's lots that's unsettling about it all. It's yeah, I found it fascinating. I loved watching it. I loved being in it. I loved reading it. I loved everything. But I found watching it very exciting.
Oh yeah, I get so many levels. Yeah. Excuse me.
Oh, that's okay. See, now I just gave you the glance. I'm like, not only
dude, let's end this. Let's end this now.
Let's start over. Since it's pretty much common knowledge that Two-Face is born in this movie, I have to tell you that I felt total sympathy for the guy. It would be me. If that was me, it would have been the same thing. So without really telling why these things happened or what the motives are, I'm guessing you didn't play him as a villain.
No, I don't look at him as a villain. That's what I appreciate about my part so much, is that the audience gets so much time with Dent and get to know what he's trying to do and his reasons, that when this happens to him, we're with him. You know, now he could make different choices over here, but still these seem like human choices, and I think that's important. You know, he's monstrous in other ways. You know, physically he's had a transformation, and so, you know, I think the audience can even empathize with him in that way.
Yeah, even that. You know, I really had the toughest time with it was the hole in the nose. That bothered me to the point. It wasn't the rest of it. Who cares about the eyeball hanging out? I mean, it was like that hole in the nose bothered me where I didn't even want to look straight at the character.
Yeah.
And stuff. But I guess for you though, it's like probably every makeup job should be that easy, huh?
It was beautiful, and what it does to help the character is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, to be there in the reactions and to be able to play with that is phenomenal.
It was right at the beginning of our process, and I suppose we were hoping for something that was impossible, which was as someone walks in and you go, that's it. In fact, we met lots of interesting actors, and there were, 3 or 4 right at the end who were very strong candidates for certain kinds of Thors, but the one who came in and gave us the primitive Thor, the physically impressive Thor, and also the humorous and the sensitive Thor, and frankly, the movie star Thor, was Chris Hemsworth. And sometimes you never know till you know, and I think it's no accident that he came, and we noted it didn't quite work, and we got to the end and we came back to realizing it's right in front of you. It was realizing, gosh, anything's possible, but not only is it possible, we can actually make it happen. Then you have to get very canny about what you want, how long it'll take to do, etc. And you realize, a race through space, and if we create the Milky Way, and then if we go through hyperspace and come back, and we use those Hubble images, that's probably a year to get that shot right, Better make sure we want it. And so a great, big, steep, enjoyable learning curve. There wasn't anything I ever did in Shakespeare that wasn't subject to intense, passionate debate by people who call themselves purists. With the fanboys, especially the ones I spoke to at Comic-Con, just you can't be grateful enough for the incredible sort of level of interest, and I love that. I mean, the idea of this amount of interest in your film ahead of time, that's rare, that's thrilling. Are you expecting it to please everyone? No. Are you hoping it'll entertain everyone? Yes, and maybe they'll argue about everything they argue about anyway.
I saw you on Ellen say you get nervous sometimes.
Yeah, no, you get a little bit nervous. I mean, I always get a little nervous whenever you have to be in front of people. A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's all written up on. I don't have to remember it. I've done these.
You got a teleprompter.
I've done these things where you have to memorize it, and that can be more nerve-wracking. But you know what? It's not the end of the world.
No, you're going to do fabulous, obviously.
All right. Yeah.
All right, so you're here to give an award tonight to Juan Antonio.
Yes.
For your work. Tell us how...
Juan Antonio directed our movie The Impossible, which is a film that focuses on a Spanish family's true story of their experience when they were caught in the tsunami in Thailand in 2004. And he's being honoured by the International Medical Corps tonight for being courageously trying to tell that story and telling it well, I think, being honest and truthful about it, and I think never letting the movie... because you're making a story about a real-life disaster like this where people really lost their lives, many people. You have a responsibility to the people who died there, and you also have a responsibility to the people who were there and survived and lost their loved ones. So I think he's carried that responsibility very carefully on his shoulders, and I'm sure that's why the Medical Corps want to honour him tonight.
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which I ask my friends on the panel to blindfold themselves, as you all know. Are those blindfolds in place, panel?
They are, John.
Good. Will you come in, Mystery Challenger, and sign in, please? As you know, panel, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask questions one at a time, in turn, clockwise. And let's begin with Arlene Francis.
Are you in the entertainment world?
Yes. Mr. Gable.
Are you a female?
Yes.
Miss Kilgallen.
Are you primarily known for your work in the movies? Yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Are you a superb dancer?
Professionally?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you in New York because you are publicizing a new picture that is about to open?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Gable.
Have you a picture now playing on Broadway?
No, sir.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
You hesitated for quite a long time when I asked if you were primarily known for your work in the movies. Have you appeared on the New York stage, too? No, ma'am.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Sir.
The last time you looked in the mirror, were you blonde?
No, sir.
No?
5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Have you appeared on television?
Yay.
Mr. Gable.
Have you ever appeared in nightclubs?
No, sir.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Never appeared in nightclubs? Golly. She has a picture on Broadway. Excuse me, John, I know we didn't ask for a conference.
My fault, John.
It's all right.
You have never appeared on the New York... I'm just going over this because I don't think I've gotten it straight. She has not appeared on the New York stage or nightclubs.
The television does.
Well... have you ever made any records? Singing records? Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sir.
Well, you said you weren't a blonde. Can we take it for granted then that you're a brunette?
No.
No, you can't. That's 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
Bald-headed. It's Yul Brynner. No. Well, that leaves us a red-head and a white-haired lady, and she sounds more red-headed than white-headed. Are you red-headed?
Yay.
Mr. Gable.
Are you about to appear in a television spectacular of some kind?
Yay.
Miss Kilgallen.
Oh. I pass.
Are you an American girl? I can't hear the answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. The microphone didn't work there for a minute. Would you answer the question?
By birth, I meant, of course.
Yay.
What was that? I'm
Yes.
sorry.
She's American.
Question, are you an American girl? The answer is yes, Miss Francis.
Now, you said a television spectacular. Is this a television program that has at its head either a male or female star? What's funny about that?
Well, that'll get you a yes. And then you won't know any more than you did before.
Yeah. Well, because it could be just a loose spectacular.
The answer is definitely yes.
Program.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Gable.
Is it a male star?
Yeah.
Miss Kilgallen.
Perry Como it is.
All right, now tell me the next.
It's Perry Como.
But that's not Perry
Como. There's somebody here.
May we have a conference?
Yes, you may have a conference for 10 seconds.
When does he...
Arlene seems to be orbiting in on something, or...
No, I just know that
Iris
somebody
in
is
on
here
something.
from Hollywood to be in a Perry Como show this coming week.
A redhead who has never
Who's
appeared in
redheaded?
supper clubs. Wait a minute. Whoops. But she's supposed to be on the coast.
Take a chance.
Well, Rhonda Fleming's a redhead, but I don't know whether she's going to do anything. I won't... Well, this is...
Maureen O'Hara. Oh. Yeah. Is it Maureen O'Hara?
That's right. Well, I don't know. I'm exhausted, panel, but you did splendidly. Actually, it is right on Wednesday night on
Perry
Perry Como
Como.
show.
Yes, with Perry on Wednesday, but then I'm also going to do Mrs. Miniver for David Susskind on special tonight on
lovely.
January the 7th.
Lovely.
So that's in
Well,
January.
the television
Yes,
screen will be enhanced by your presence. I'm glad you're here
Well,
to
thank
do
you
this.
very much.
And Miss Maureen, thank you for being our guest. It's always a
Thank
delight
you.
to have so much
I must
beauty
say, I
with
didn't know
us.
how to answer you on was I American or not, because I was born in Ireland, but I am an American citizen.
She's an American
Very
gal
proud.
now, right?
Well, there's no doubt about it.
Not by birth,
No.
but an American gal now.
But I'm an American girl now.
Right. It's a deal. Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank
Miss
you very
Maureen.
much.
Goodbye.
I believe that from school age upwards we have to reassert a common British narrative, a core culture. But the Muslim communities that David Cameron talked about will not reform themselves. The government is going to have to shut down and prosecute any organisations, including charities, that are linked to extremism and terrorism. Preachers and others who come from abroad to preach hatred and division should be prosecuted and deported.